Hello. Hello, Facebook land and YouTube land. I'm just checking that everything's working. It is. Okay, awesome. I have been asked from a few people why I enjoy so much I don't want to say talking about gaslighting, but exploring the topic of gaslighting and facilitating the topic of gaslighting. And for me, it's kind of a personal journey. If you know me well, you know that I was in an 11-year gaslighting relationship. I chose a business partner who was a gaslighter. I've had a lot of experience with gaslighting. But it wasn't really until I learned the tools of access consciousness, and not just the tools, but also how to apply them to the gaslighters, to the gaslighting situations, that I started to have any sense of freedom from it and stepping out of being the effect of it. Because really, does it matter if people are choosing gaslighting if it's not affecting you? Uh, so so here's the crazy thing. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. The crazy thing, and I'm using that word because that's kind of okay. Hold on, let's start at basics. I think I'm jumping ahead. Do you know what gaslighting is? Do you know? I didn't know what gaslighting was at all. I hadn't even heard about it. And the universe delivers information in the most fascinating ways, as you may or may not know. And I was actually watching some content on YouTube doing research for a project that I was on. And like an ad comes up and it's like 5 signs that you might be in a gaslighting relationship. If you have 2 or more of these signs, then, alarm. And all 5 of them were super present in my marriage that I had just left like a month ago. And I was like, what? And so I just went on this like researching gaslighting, super fascinated by it, the psychology behind it. And I just kind of went into the depth of it. All these awarenesses picking off. Oh my God, that's what that was. That's what that was. That's what that was. Fast forward, I'm in a class, an access consciousness class. If you, again, know me well, you know I'm kind of obsessed with access consciousness, the tools, the classes, the gift of it in my world. And Gary Douglas started talking about gaslighting. And he started to talk about this movie called Gaslight. And he said, every person should watch this movie at least like 25 times. It's a old school movie. It's black and white. I actually like kind of old school movies. Um, so hi, Nicole. Nice to have you here. So I watched the movie, and what was so cool about watching it was because now you're the observer, right? So when you're living in a gaslighting relationship, or maybe it's your boss, it's your parents, right? You have a different perspective, right? Your point of view is different. Your point of view is from the receiving end. And then when you come out and your point of view is now from the observer side, you can see different aspects that you can when you're only looking from your point of view as the receiver, right? And it was so freeing and dynamic to just watch this movie with a couple of wonderful friends of mine. And afterwards, there was kind of this like explosion of energy where throughout the movie, a lot of different things happened for a lot of people. Some people, they were crying, they were seeing themselves in this, or people that they loved in this, or they were becoming aware of things that they had been avoiding being aware of. For other people, they were confused and like, well, how did she not see what he was up to? And like, this is ridiculous. But all this energy was kind of like building and building and building. And then after we watched the movie, we got on a Zoom together. Well, actually, we had Zoom on the whole time. Um, because that's what I chose to do for my first viewing, not just watch it secretly on my own. I was like, no, I'm going to do this with a group of people. And so I facilitated afterwards. I just ran some clearings to clear out all the energy that had built up. And the space that opened after those clearings, that if you don't know what clearings are, this is just a tool we use in Access Consciousness to kind of clear out energies. So you may have been to a psychologist before, or a counselor, and you bring up all these energies and they're up, and then you have to try and figure out a way to process them, right? One of the things I love about Access Consciousness is that we're going to bring up the shit, but we're also going to give you the tools to clear it out so it can actually leave your universe. So that was my first experience watching this movie. I'm so grateful that Gary Douglas recommended it. He's the founder of Access Consciousness, because I don't think I ever would have really found it. I was definitely not looking for it. So since then, I've done like every 6 months to a year, I hold a watch party and I ask people to just get on with me. And we get on Zoom, and I usually tell a little bit more of my story than what I'm sharing here. And then we ask a few questions going into the movie, and then we just watch it. And the difference is when you're watching a movie with a lot of people that engage with energy, that engage with facilitating possibility, the movies always have a more magical interaction with you as a being. And so we watch this movie in this engagement, and then afterwards we're going to run some clearings about gaslighting. And any of you that have been doing Access for a while, you're probably very aware of the topic of reactionary realities. And since I've had this this event on for a while, often I will get downloads of information like coming up to it. And when reactionary realities came out, I started to suddenly have all these awarenesses about gaslighting and reactionary realities and how they mingle and the possibilities beyond it. And so that's why gaslighting is, for me, avoiding it never changed anything. In fact, it gave gaslighting so much power over me. Defending for or against it never gave me freedom either. But being with it, looking at it, and taking that charge off, that charge of, oh my God, that's awful, that charge of feeling trapped, that charge of all this stuff, using the Access tools, that's what's created the freedom for me around the topic of gaslighting. So gaslighting is one of those I would say it's a universal topic right now, even though it's not exactly being talked about right now. It is woven within the structures of so many things globally, through this whole reality. And the more of us that are willing to just be present with it, to clear the charge around it, and then to choose not to be the effect of it, that gets us in the changing the world path. We get to be the leaders for a different possibility here on planet Earth, a possibility where you're not the effect of gaslighting, where gaslighting isn't a dominant energy, where others are awakened to the gaslighting going on and they can choose not to be at the effect of it. And then what happens if people stop being at the effect of gaslighting? What will happen to gaslighting? So whether this is new to you, or you've heard about this before, or you've never watched the movie, or you have watched the movie like 10 trillion times, you're invited regardless. And it's a free event. So you can come watch the movie. If you want to donate, I always put a donation out because I've had so many people say, I want to pay you for this. So the option is there if you want to donate whatever is light for you to contribute, and you can just show up and receive. I don't have a point of view about it. So please know you're invited. This is actually going on tomorrow, Sunday in my part of the world. We're going to do it kind of late morning, watch the movie together on Zoom, and we're together. So if you have stuff coming up, you might even have triggers coming up. That's okay because you're not alone and you're not crazy. And so we'll be there in the chat, and we'll be communicating via that format. And then afterwards, we can just be together and clear out these energies and get a little bit freer, a little bit lighter, and see what gift we can be to the world. So if you have the space, please come tomorrow. Please join us. There's going to be a group of us. If you know the access bars, some people are getting together and doing bars exchanges and then zooming in at the same time, or they're just doing their individual things. Whatever is fun for you. I would love to have a wonderful crew of people that are willing to change this in the world with me, because it's so beautiful when you can get together with a group of people and go, hey, let's change this. And doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to be triggering. And it might be for you. And that's okay. Because again, you're not alone. But I would like to be this gift in the world. I'm going to be this gift in the world. And if you want to join me, come. There's a link in the description. Just click on it, type in your name, and then you're going to get the Zoom link. And you can drink wine, you can eat popcorn, you can have your camera off, you can be loud and obnoxious, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a party, which is maybe funny to think of gaslighting and a party, but the party part is, and I'll get to it, I'm going to get to this tomorrow, but part of that is how you get out of being the effect of that. It's the lightness, it's the humor. I'm going to share more, but that will allow you to actually not be in the need of reactionary reality when it comes to gaslighting. I think this video went on for a really long time in my universe anyway. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. I hope to see you there tomorrow. And if you can't make it, but you know someone else that would really like to dive into this, or you've been talking about it, please feel free to forward it to them. It's truly available and free for anyone. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.